I'm a carpenter, and I got hurt in an accident. I was electrocuted, approximately 23,000 volts of electricity. And here's my story.
Far away.
We got to the job. We were setting up. What we're doing is we're putting together a modular home, and those are 4 units to have that put together to make it makes a house. Well, in order for that, you need a crane to pick these houses, these quarter of a house, off the trailers and onto the foundation. And we were successful with the first, second, and third pick. Well, actually, the third pick, when we got the first 2 units down and nailed together and ready to go for the next 2, and the third pick, he picked it up, and when he went to swing it around to the foundation, it was brushing up against a tree limb. So we cut the tree limb, and even though we cut the tree limb and he had more room to swing the boom it in, he hit the power line. And when he hit the power line, he knocked out the transformer about, I don't know, half a mile, quarter mile down the road. CL&P, Connecticut Line Power, comes up, asks us if we hit the line. No one knows nothing. So obviously we did, because we knocked the transformer out. So on the 4th pick, he was able to maneuver the fourth box, the 4th unit, even closer to the foundation, away from the road, because the crane was almost halfway in the road when it was set up. They were a quarter of the way into the road when it was set up. So when he picked the 4th box up, I was closer to the crane, and when he swung the box over to place it onto the foundation, he hit the tension line. Well, and the tension line, where it hit, he hit it with the spreader bar, which is below the hook. You got the hook, cable comes down to a bar, and that bar comes down with 2 wires underneath the unit. So there's 2 bars with 4 wires that come down, and they're all hooked to this hook on the top. Well, when he swung it over, he hit it, the electricity traveled down through the crane, which I was standing in a puddle of water holding the what you call a secure line. If there's any wind or if he jerks it, you try to hold it, you know, it's just to steady the box. Well, it came down, the spark jumped from the crane to my arm, electrocuted me. I fell back and I hit the outrigger, which fastens the crane to the ground. And I smacked my head on the outrigger and fractured my skull. And then when I woke up, the next thing I knew was I was laying on the ground. I didn't know what was up. My boss Jeff was like, "Eric, don't move. You got hurt. You just stay put." The ambulance comes, strip me right down, put me in the ambulance, and then they bring me to a ball field, and that's where they put me. They put me onto Lifestar. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. Lifestar. So they transported me from Haddam, Connecticut, to Bridgeport Burn Center in Connecticut, and that's where I stayed for, I think it was approximately 2.5 to 3 weeks in the hospital, which I got burns. It went into my arm, traveled down through my body, toasted my shoes, blew them out, came back up, and it exited out of the back. You want me to show it?
Yeah, go on.
You want me to show it?
Yeah, go on.
That's where it exited. And it came out of my arm, all in through here, all in through there. I have marks on the back of my leg where it burnt me, right in between my fingers, all down and through here. They had to take skin off my leg to skin graft my elbow, all the way around my elbow, down my whole forearm, and some up here, and which wasn't too pleasant. And then after I was finally released from the hospital, I was all bandaged up, all this side, and for the next good month and a half was having my fiance Verna bandage me up, take care of me, thank God she knows what she's doing, because she did an excellent job. And that's basically my story.
Well, thank you. Tell me, have you ever heard of such a thing called an insulating link or a proximity warning device before?
Before the accident, no.
Okay.
Now I'm well aware of the product, and I actually believe in it considerably, because exactly where that unit, the insulator link hooks up to the crane, if that was actually there, I would have never gotten hurt, because it would have stopped the electricity from going down through the crane and zapping me and frying me.
And what would you say to any crane rental firm who are thinking of buying a load insulator?
Don't be ignorant. You know, there's no price on life. You know, I mean, for something that really isn't that expensive, and it actually could save a life, even if only saved one life, that would be worth it. Even if it helped me one time, if we had that, I would have never gotten hurt. I would have, you know, I have two daughters, 8 and 4, Ashley and Alicia, that thank God, for the grace of God, that I'm still here. But if that product was out like it should be, then I wouldn't have got hurt, and hopefully in the future that it will either be mandatory, or crane companies finally open their eyes and realize that, hey, you know, I don't care what the price tag is, there's no price tag on life.
Nicely said. And if you were talking to a man who thinks that $6,000 is a hard price to pay for someone who's working for him, what would you particularly like to say to him?
Open your eyes. I mean, do you want that on your conscience? I mean, God forbid, you know, that's why they call them accidents. Accidents happen, but trying to prevent an accident before it happens is the key. So therefore, if you know, people are more aware in this circumstance as far as working with cranes, be it an outrigger, be it an oiler, whatever the case, if you're around cranes, eventually you're going to be around power lines. And me personally, if I ever got back into the business, if I could get back into the business, I would never even go onto a lot with a crane that didn't have an insulator on it. I would walk out the job. That's fine. There's always another job out there. You know, and if an employee is going to be that ignorant and not open his eyes to say, hey, you know, accidents could happen, this guy could lose his life because we're working near power lines, you know, it all depends on the person. It really does. It all depends on the person.
Thank you very much.